What's up, action takers, the community of doers? I hope you're doing fine. So far, so good. Week 7, episode 7. 52 weeks, here we come. That's our first milestone. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Those are the words of one and only Bruce Lee. Now, that means mastery. And that's what I want us to talk about today. What is mastery? How do you achieve mastery in any kind of endeavor in life? And what are the importance of achieving mastery? And how does mastery contribute to our cause of rethinking the conventionality of how our life is, and how that can advance us as individuals in the collective world that we live in, and make sure that we become better people, we become better versions of ourselves, and also we become high value individuals to allow us to sit at the top or at the helm of our disciplines or our lives, to live a more fulfilled life and a better life, and also to usher in a better life for the generations that are to come, and also to leave this world a better place than we found it. Why is mastery important? And why do I feel so compelled to talk about it today? Before we go deep into this whole mastery thing, kindly, I remind you one more time, subscribe to this YouTube channel to continue to take part and feel as part of the people who are pushing the development of this community. If you want to know your contribution towards what we are doing, is through that subscription and through telling a friend, so that collectively we can be able to join forces and build this community for the betterment of ourselves and the society that we live in. And just to keep on these like-minded individuals as close so that we can keep on. Now, I started with a phrase from Bruce Lee about mastery. I want to read for you another statement, still on mastery, by one and only Robert Greene, who has written a couple of books. And I can invite you to go and check them out. They're so good. I can personally say that. 48 Laws of Power, and now Mastery, that's also a book by him. He has a couple of books. And this is what Robert Greene said, that mastery is not a function of genius or talent. It's a function of time and intense focus applied to a particular field of knowledge. So we are picking up a couple of things there. That one, mastery takes time. 2, it requires intense focus on a very particular field. Now, moving forward, why is it even important for us to be able to try to achieve mastery? And let me say it as a disclaimer from the word go. It is not easy to achieve mastery, and very few people actually achieve mastery. But why is it important for you, where you sit right now, to go on this course of actually putting yourself on in the pursuit to achieve mastery in the field of your choice? Let me explore 2 or 3, probably 4 importances of that. Why is it even important in the first place? One, of course, is personal fulfillment. The inherent function of our human spirit is to feel that we have contributed to this world. And with the achievement of mastery, it allows you to contribute into the bigger part of humanity in a more broader way. So that's first of it. Personal fulfillment, which is very, very, very intimate to us as human beings. The second one is professional recognition. And that goes with no say. We usually say that the person who understands the problem the best has the privilege or has the right to solve that problem. So the more you make yourself eligible, or the more you make yourself fit to solve a certain problem, then you gain the right and the privilege to solve that problem. The universe appreciates merit, and with the achievement of mastery, it puts you at a pedestal to be the most merited person in that field that you pursue mastery in. So the more merit you exhibit, it's directly proportional. You get the right or you get the privilege to be able to be the most or the best person to be able to solve that problem that you have mastered in that specific discipline or industry. Those are two. The third one, importance of achieving mastery, is it increases your confidence. The more you understand a field, you are going to be more confident when you are actually performing or when you're actually interacting with everything that has to do with that field. And we know that self-confidence is very, very important in our day-to-day lives. And the last one is contribution to others. If you achieve mastery, you are able to even teach others on the same discipline. Now, having understood what is mastery and the importance of achieving mastery, so let's see which actions now, the step-by-step actions that we can take for us to achieve mastery. Where you sit today, how can you be able to achieve mastery? Now, these are the steps. Step number 1, identify your passion. You cannot be a master in a field or in a discipline that you're not passionate about. Why? Because it takes time to achieve mastery. And I bet you can't subject yourself to an extended period of time without understanding, or you cannot place yourself in an extended period of time in an industry that you're not passionate about. You are a human being. You're going to get bored. When you're faced with challenges, you're going to feel to quit because you're not passionate about it in the first place. So the first step to achieve mastery is to identify your passion, because you cannot achieve mastery in an area that you're not passionate about. So first identify what are your passions, and those passions are the ones now that you're going to decide which one do you decide to achieve mastery with. First step, identify your passion, to know the field that you're taking to achieve mastery. The second one, set clear goals. You have to be very clear about how you want to take on this journey of mastery. It's not an overnight success. It's not an overnight thing. It's gonna take time. A research has been done, and these were the findings, that it takes approximate 10,000 hours for you to practice intentionally with feedback for you to achieve mastery. And that is an approximate of not less than 5 years. So that's why I'm saying it takes time, and you have to be really committed if you have to go, or if you have to take on this journey of mastery. So there is no way you can do this without being passionate. The third step, engage in deliberate practice. What do you mean by deliberate practice? Structured practice, designed practice sessions that are challenging and that are targeted to achieve a specific objective. You have to practice with objective. The other thing, you have to push on skill development. That specific skill that you want to achieve mastery in, you have to practice it intentionally. That this is a skill that I'm developing and this is the actual practice that I'm doing. And I'm doing A, B, C, D for me to be able to achieve this and this and this. Deliberate practice with feedback. Very important. The fourth step, I've already mentioned it, is actually seek feedback within yourself and also from a third party. Don't evaluate yourself entirely. Of course, you have to do self-evaluation, but to avoid biasness, get a third party input on the feedback or on the progress that you're making on that specific skill. The fifth step, embrace continuous learning. In the pursuit of mastery, you're developing that skill. And by developing that skill, it means that you're continuously learning, relearning, and learning again. So it's a matter of getting better day to day. So you're gonna make mistakes. Let's agree on that. You're gonna make mistakes. And that's why most people don't find themselves in the pursuit of mastery, because probably you fear making mistakes or you're discouraged by the mistake you make. No. The way I'm doing this podcast, I'm 100% sure is not the best way that you can do a podcast. But because I'm in the pursuit of mastery in terms of doing this, I'm willing to do it wrongly. I like a philosophy that something that is worth doing poorly until you do it right. Start and do it even if you're doing it poorly. You are going to improve. But until you allow yourself to make mistake, until you allow yourself to do it poorly, you will never grow. So probably I'm not doing it in the best way that you can do it. But I don't care about that. What I care is how I'm doing it this week is not how I'm going to do it next week. How I'm doing it this year is not how I'm going to do it next year. Year by year, I'm going to be improving. And watch this space. The improvement is going to go on and on and on, because it's about being very clear about the skill, and also it's about deliberate practice with feedback. And I want to even make it practical. Please give me the feedbacks. If you think there is something I'm not doing right, share with me. If there is something that you're doing, seek accountability for you to achieve mastery in that thing. These things are practical, as you can see. Very, very practical. The sixth step in the pursuit of achieving mastery: reflect and adjust. As you're learning, as you're seeking the feedback, you have to sit down and reflect on what progress you're making. Don't be all over the place. Be very cautious to sit back and look at the progress that you're making. Is it within the time frame? Because also you cannot make progress after every 2 years. It's possibly not very sufficient in terms of that pursuit. You need to make the progress within a reasonable time. Within a reasonable time. So that you can be able to fasten your way, or you can be able to put in more work. If you're taking time to achieve that progress, you know you need to do more for you to make the progress within reasonable time. The seventh step: build resilience. Resilience is the art to come back, or is the art of coming back to what you are doing in the midst of a setback. comeback story is not about when you're kicked down. It's about how many times can you come back up. A lot. Remember, you are learning. Remember, you are not good at this, but you're in the pursuit of becoming good at it. You are doing some things poorly. So those are discouragement. Those are obstacles. Because you are not good in the first place. You need to get good. So you need a lot of resilience. You go down, you come back up. Resilience. The art of coming back in the presence of a setback or after an obstacle. Moving forward, the last step that I want to look at is engage with like-minded individuals so that you can share perspective. And even of the most important, engage with a mentor. A mentor is like, he ships you through those steps that you need to take. If it's a step by step, he can be able even to jump the step, because he can tell you, don't do that, I did that myself, I did not succeed. So he can be able to help you maneuver and actually, to some extent, fasten your way towards mastery. Remember, it's taking time. So anything you can take to buy yourself time, I promise you, you need it. Now, those are the 8 steps that I think that forms the embodiment of your pursuit to mastery, to achieve the benefits that we have been able to see in the beginning of our conversation. With those 8 steps, and giving yourself time, extended period of time, you can be able to achieve mastery in the next 5 years. The next 5 years, we're talking about 2029. It's not long. Why? Because in 2029, you're going to be 5 years older. So why don't you decide today that you want to be 5 years older, having achieved mastery in a certain field? It's a decision you can make today. That in 2029, I'm going to be 5 years older, but not only that, I'm going to be a master in this specific field. And I have set myself from today to do all those 8 things continuously, with the commitment, resilience, and the consistency to achieve that mastery in what you're going to decide. And mark this day, because every year I'm going to be reminding ourselves that we are in the pursuit of achieving mastery in our different fields of choice. Because that is one of the methods we can rethink the conventionality and become high-value individuals and also live a better life. To close this episode, or this conversation for that matter, I want to look at specifically 4 people who has given phrases about mastery that I think can allow you to reflect even in a broader way. The first person that I'm going to look at is Leonardo da Vinci. And this is what he said, that one can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Leonardo da Vinci was trying to explain the importance of mastering our own self. Become a master of yourself. He said that that is the greatest mastery that you can have. So I think that one has even given us something that is even more profound. If you don't feel that you want to be a master in any field, probably you just want to be a jack of all trades. And if that is your decision, then who am I to go contrary with your opinion or who you believe to be, what you want with your life? But Leonardo da Vinci was trying to tell us that it is so important for us to master our own self. What do I mean by that? You have to master your thoughts. Don't just be swayed by every conversation around you. You have to master your emotions. Don't give people power to make you happy or sad. Please keep that power to yourself. Master your own career. Understand where you want it to go, and be very intentional in directing it to that path. I can go on and on and on. Master your relationships. Master your finances. So even if you don't want to take a mastery in a field, we have been reminded that the greatest mastery that one can have is mastery of oneself. And we have the different aspect of our lives that we can actually, or that holds a very, very big advantage if you make a decision today to achieve mastery in those things. The other person that I want to look at is Aristotle. And this is what he said, that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So it goes with no say. Something we are what we repeatedly do. What you do on a daily to day basis, that's who you become. And I can marry that with another concept of the fact that success is hidden in your daily routine. Success is hidden in your daily routine. It's not those big things that you do once in a while that contributes to your success. Not at all. It is those small routines, those things, those habits that you do on a daily basis that you ignore. Those are the ones that forms the embodiment of your success. So if you want to be successful today, don't look at those big things that you're doing, that one day you sit and do something. No. It's how you wake up. It's what you listen to. It's what you read. It's who you surround yourself to. It's how you go to sleep. It's how you go to your work. It's how you improve yourself in that work. It's the connection you make. It's being intentional with what you do. Those are the ones that contributes the biggest percentage towards your success. Success is hidden in your daily routine. You want to be successful? Change your routine. The other person that I want to look at is Malcolm Gladwell. And this is what Malcolm Gladwell said. Practice isn't the thing you do once you are good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. It's basically what we've been talking about the whole time. That practice is doing those things that you're doing wrongly. The poor things that you're doing, that's what you do to get better. So don't wait for you to be good for you to practice. No. It's for you to do those things that you are doing wrongly, and you do it long enough to do them right. The only hack in this is that don't do wrong things for an extended period of time. You don't want that for yourself. You have to practice and get better within a reasonable time. Because even if it's in a workplace, you can't continue doing the wrong thing. Probably you're going to be costing the company. So even if you are trying to push yourself to advance your skill in the achievement of mastery, it has to be within a reasonable amount of time. That is not going to jeopardize you within the confines of the environments that you are in. The same comes to me. What I'm doing, I have to improve within a reasonable time. It can't be a year down and there is no improvement. No. You have to check that the improvement have to be within a reasonable time. The last thing that I want to look at, or the last person whom you are considering, very, very known scientist, Albert Einstein. And this is what he said, very interestingly. It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the question for too long. It's the fact that he was able to stay with those concepts, all the physics and the relativity things that he brought into the physics world, and the concept of mathematics that he brought into our lives. It was all about time. So here, time is your currency. Time is your currency. Now, as we go to make that decision, please, I would invite you, make that decision today and identify what you want to achieve mastery in. And if you don't have a specific industry, then pursue mastery of your own self. And with that, I think we are going to be rethinking the conventional mentality and pursuance of better lives for ourselves. Thank you very much for staying up to this point, and always make sure that you show up. See you at work.